Hello world, my name is John, and I am following up on a request, and actually I guess I offered to do this, a short video exhibiting the potential bug that I think I found that, I've been scrolling through this is in relation to the issue that we had last week or, recently where after an update, print times have exponentially increased. So I whereas I typically have custom orders that are going out every week. I haven't had anything custom. Everything that I did sell was something that already was created. My coloring was already there. Uh, I didn't have any issues with those. In fact, I saw my print times diminish a little bit. So something that took 7 hours now took, for some reason, 5.5 hours, and I hadn't messed with my profiles at all. However, this week I did have a custom order that I needed to get done just for my son's teacher. So and there's no rush for that. Um, both items are printed that you see here on the screen in the color arrangements that were requested. They printed out beautifully, but I'm still struggling with the issue that I experienced just this morning. So what I noticed was, right, so we see here on the left side, my default, my number one color is pink, number two is purple, obviously, number three is navy. The item on the right, this is colored as it should have been, as requested, pink background, purple foreground. It's like a millimeter or 2 millimeters up above the pink. And on the left, we wanted a navy blue background with pink foreground, pink lettering. So as we see here, if I slice this, if I already did slice this, but if we go to the preview, we see I got one filament change and total time of 3 hours, 25 minutes. This came out great. If we look here, right, this should be about the same. It's a smaller item, so it's taking a little bit less time, but no filament change. Now, here's what's interesting. How I normally would handle this if I wanted to have two plates with varying colors. I select this and my painting tool. I'll take the color that I want. I'll take my height range as high as I can go, and I just color this whole thing in. So my assumption is, and this is how I'm normally working here, if I color the top plate, the top here, that whole layer is affected. It's not like I'm doing it bit by bit. So I'm gonna go down the row here, down the line. I'm gonna paint this for you live, as choppy as this video is. I must have a lot of processes going on here today. Right. So this should be all blue, right? You can see inside these little spots here, right? There's no pink. We can zoom in. There's no pink here. However, watch this now. I'm going to zoom out and let's hit return. Check that out. There's pink. There's pink in here somewhere. So let's slice it and have a closer look. All right, and as you notice, this is all in real time. So while it's not much, it's like actually no, that's a significant amount. There's 39 grams of pink in here. Where's the pink? You see that? Here, let's get rid of the blue. There's all sorts of pink. Like, why is that happening? How? Like, we should be seeing this in every little. All right, so it's not in the whole. Like, there's no rhyme or reason why this should be pink. So, for some reason, that layer, the layer tool. Let's see, what's it called? The proper term? The height range. If the tool type, if the height range. The height range, in other words, what I'm saying is the height range is not really coloring the layers in properly. This should be coloring everything in. Even if I go over it again. Oh, now it's in purple. Sorry. Let's do this one more time. I'm going to color this in. There, let's use purple. Same thing's going to happen. Color from the top to the bottom. Now this, I don't ever recall this happening. I've got dozens, maybe 200 or so files where I've colored in multiple objects on the same plate, and I never had an issue. Every object, even if they're different, if they're different colors, of course, none of them exhibits this sort of issue. Now let's return here. Yeah. See that? Now, let's revert this. I mean, let's erase that, make that pink, and there we go. Right? So now that everything is totally pink, I don't have the issue where I've got multiple colors in here. So that's sort of in a nutshell. I mean, I know this is drawn out a bit, but in a nutshell, this is what I'm experiencing. So I don't know, is this a bug? Have any of you experienced this in the past? I don't think I have. I mean, I can go back and with you here, and here, I made this object here on the right before I did any updates. So here, let's take a look. I mean, it's obvious. I've got my multiple colors here on the left, my white, blue, pink, and green, and here, all I have is green and white, blue and white. You know, the issue was not exhibited here before I made the update. However, here, it is. And let's say I do decide to color this all. How did I do this? Okay, so let's say I'm just going to do that. And then that. Okay. That's what I want. There is going to be white in there. There's going to be, I mean, another color in there somewhere. Six hours, 89 filament changes. Right? How does that make sense? Why is there 89 filament changes? 89 filament changes because there's, you know, there's something weird going on here. See that? There's 89 filament changes because there's all this junk in here. Why is that? So you see what I'm talking about. You know, this 6 hours, that's unrealistic. I mean, 3 hours I can understand. 6 hours, that doesn't make any sense at all. Now, if I were to reverse that, so let's do this. Clear it all. Let me do the opposite, the inverse, just for argument's sake. I'm going to do that. And then that. Let's go back and slice. And there we have it. One filament change, 3 hours and 5 minutes. What's going on? I think there might be a bug here. I don't think that that layer tool or the height range tool is functioning properly. And that could be a result of whatever changes that were made. Maybe not all of the functionality in this application was entirely vetted when this update was pushed out. Now, I don't think that was, you know, that's probably not intentional. The folks who were doing the QA testing likely tested just what was being affected, not everything else in the application. In my day-to-day job, this is something that I would normally do if my company is pushing out a project or product or a significant update, version update to an application. Before I pass it on to my employees, my people, whether I receive it from a vendor or if I'm in a position where I'm the vendor, you know, we'll test if something's being, for example, if we're making changes to the device screen, right? I would still feel compelled to come here and, you know, test all of these other features out. You know, is just for as a sanity check, right? Because while you're not the developers are not intending on affecting anything in the screen, perhaps something touched on this screen did affect it. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not a Bambu developer. I'm just speculating. I think I found a bug. Maybe I didn't. This video has gone on way too long. I hope you were able to catch the issue that I was trying to convey, or am trying to convey. That's it. thanks for sticking around for this entire video, or who knows, if you dropped off and you come back to this at a later time, nice seeing you. All right, take care.